Hello traders, and welcome to the video presentation of the RobotFX TDI Expert Advisor. TDI, if you don't know, stands for Traders Dynamic Index, and it is an indicator designed to simplify trading and display, if possible, all the price action in one separate window from the chart. I won't go into details about the indicator. This is the second video that we have dedicated to explaining our TDI Expert Advisor, Traders Dynamic Index Expert Advisor. And as promised in the first video, in this second video, I'll explain the settings. So if you haven't already, please make sure that you watch the first video. They're all published on the Expert Advisors page. And please make sure you watch the first one and then go back to this one, the second one. Now, let's go straight to the settings, as promised in the first video. So the Expert Advisor is attached on the chart already. So far it's doing quite well. That's not relevant. That, to be honest, really depends on the settings. The settings really depend on the trader's experience in the end. So, first of all, if you have acquired this product and you are using it on a live account, then you must enter your email here, the email that you used to purchase this Expert Advisor. If not, and if you are using this on demo account, let me tell you again that you can download this for free to try it and trade on demo accounts. Just go to the bottom of our website and click on the TDI EA. So if you are using this on a demo account, then you don't need to enter anything here in your email section. Now, you have the option to enable or disable the trading days. Although the Sundays and Saturdays, the market is closed, well, Saturdays for sure. It might be open for Sundays in some countries. You have the option to enable trading or disable trading for this day. So obviously, if you click false for Sunday, that means that the Expert Advisor will not open any trades on Sunday. Besides the days of the week, you have also the option to enable trading the NFP Friday, the news release, and also the Thursday before the NFP. Non-farm payroll, by the way, NFP. Big news. The market might shake quite a lot during this news, so the price might move. So maybe you don't want to trade during this period, or maybe you want to. You have the option to enable, disable trading. Don't rely on the default settings. These are not by far recommended settings. You must find obviously your own settings depending on your trading style. And we keep saying this to all our customers or potential customers, although from time to time we do get the same question. What are the best settings? Well, there aren't best settings. The best settings are relative to you, the trader, then the market, then your equity, then many different criteria, time frame, lot size, etc., etc. In the end, trading knowledge. Now, you have also the option to set a period for the Expert Advisor not to trade during Christmas holiday. And if you enable this, if you disable this, set Christmas holidays to false, and the Christmas holidays start on 20th of December. That means that the Expert Advisor from 20th until the end of the year will not trade at all. Also for the beginning of the year, New Year holidays, disable trading, and then resume trading on the 5th of January. There's option to set enable or disable trading sessions, and for this you will need to set the auto GMT Greenwich Mean Time to true if you are trading. And if you are not using the Expert Advisor to test in the strategy tester, you probably want to set this to true and leave it as it is. If you are using the strategy tester that doesn't have the option set this automatically, then you should set this to false and set your manual set the GMT to manual, GMT offset. Obviously, this is the difference between your time zone and GMT, the Greenwich time. Now, you have also the option, you the trader, to enable trading sessions. By default, this is set to false. However, if you enable this, if you set it to true, you have the option to the possibility to instruct the expert advisor to trade only during some trading sessions periods. Like, for example, excuse me, I didn't have much coffee this morning. Like, for example, disable trading for the Tokyo session. We don't want to trade then. We don't care about the Tokyo session. We don't care about the London session. We only want to trade during the New York session, well, because it's higher volatility there. So we will enable this, set it to true, enable trading sessions also to true, and obviously define the hours. When does the New York session start and when does it end? And that means that the expert advisor will only be allowed to trade between these times from 12 o'clock until 9 o'clock in the evening, 9 p.m. 21. All right. Next are the lot size and money management settings. You have the possibility to restrict trades, allow only buy trades or only sell trades. Obviously, if you disable both of them, the expert advisor will not trade. You probably want to have this both to true for a start. So enable buys and sells. Restrict the maximum orders where the expert advisor will open. Here we have 10 trades. That means that the expert advisor will not open more than 10 trades on a single chart on the same magic number. And also, you have the possibility to restrict opening the next trade after certain numbers of bars or candles, depends how you want to call them. So if this trade opened on this example, well, right here, the next trade open not less than 10 bars away from this one. There is an option to set the lot size of the expert advisor and also to enable or disable money management. Money management basically means that the expert advisor will use a percentage of the equity, sorry, not the equity, a percentage of the free margin to open a trade. So if you enable money management, the expert advisor will use 0.001% of the free margin to open a trade. I think for this example, what I'm trading right here, it's 0.94, 0.93. That would be my percentage. However, if you disable the money management, then the expert advisor will use a fixed lot size as displayed in the lot size section. So just remember, if it's true, the lot size is percentage. If it's false, the lot size is fixed. Now, there's the option to set a stop loss. Incredibly huge stop loss I'm using for this example because I'm trying to test a new strategy. Doesn't matter. Take profit, slippage, this should be self-explanatory really. Minimum profit, we will go to this to explain a little later. Just remember that the minimum profit is set in the account currency, and for this is 0.1, well, 10 cents. Now, next, the moving average indicator trend. This is the this is the trend detector that the expert advisor uses. Well, one of them. One of the trend detectors that the expert advisor can use is the moving average indicator, and with these settings, it's set to 300 smooth it, apply to close price. You can see it on the chart. That's the one. And that means that if I'm using this as a trend indicator, I have the option to change it. I will explain it later. But if I use the moving average trend indicator to determine the trend, that means that the expert advisor will only be allowed to buy when the price is obviously above this moving average, or sell when the price is below this moving average. So that is about the moving average trend indicator. Okay, let's go further. Under this, there's a moving average indicator signal. The moving average indicator signal, it's well, another moving average, and it can be used as a trailing stop. The default settings are, well, the default settings for this example are 5, the moving average signal length, shift to, the method is simple, the price is typical price. And that means that the expert advisor will, if we use this method as a criteria to close a trade, that means that the expert advisor will close an open trade if the price will cross this moving average. Actually, it happened right now or recently on the USD GPI. I think I've deleted the trade. There it is. It was here something like this. So when the price crossed the moving average, the signal moving average, the expert advisor closed the trade. Now, where were we? Here on Euro USD, because it's so popular. Such a popular pair. So that's about the signal. Again, you have the option to use this as an exit method or not. Next, there is the stochastic indicator. The stochastic indicator can be used to restrict trades and also exit trades. These are the same settings that it uses, so you can, well, it's quite general. 1437, the method is simple. Overbought, oversold levels are the default ones. Maybe I find a chart where the here it is, where the stochastic is applied already. I hope I'm not too confusing, jumping from one chart to another. And the settings for the stochastic are the same. I'll just try to show you very fast how I'm using the stochastic right here. I'm not using the stochastic to open or close trades. I'm using it to confirm an entry. So if the stochastic is in overbought area, that means up here, it means that the expert advisor is allowed to open a sell trade, as it did. If it's in oversold area, then the expert advisor is allowed to open a buy. And this, along with the other criteria to open the trade, work quite well. They allow to, well, they give the possibility to filter many unwanted trades, unwanted signals that could cause, fake signals. But let's go back to our first chart, Euro USD. So we have the stochastic settings. Go through them, attach the stochastic on the chart if you want. And then when we have the swing zone bars and the piece away from last swing, this is the same criteria that we use in our other EAs. What does that mean? The swing zone bars, it's basically a period of time. Let's on this chart is 96. Let's see it. That means that from here to here, for this period of time, 96 bars, starting from the current time and going back, right? The expert advisor, I don't know why this always starts in a like a minimized window, and I should click OK. That means that the expert advisor for this number of bars, for this period of time, the price must be at least 30 pips away. This is a value in pips away from last swing. Must be at least this value away, this distance away in pips from the last swing for the expert advisor to validate a trade. We use this because, for example, we don't want the expert advisor to open a trade right here. Here we are in basically it's a higher high, so we don't want the expert advisor to open a buy trade because we are in uptrend, right? We don't want the expert advisor to open a buy trade after the price already moved up. So we are hoping that with this restriction, this being the swing, it's not clear, this being the swing level, we are hoping that the expert advisor will open the trade at least 30 pips away from this level. This gives the price the possibility to reverse back to this level and increases the chance for the trade to be a success, to be profitable. And of course, this zone moves with as I said, with the price. It starts from the current time and goes back to the number of bars. Quite a mess I've made on this chart. And let's see what other settings we have. The settings display the same, a small window, quite annoying. So these are the swing zone bars and pips away from last swing. In the third video, I will give more. I will try to give some trading examples based on these settings and how they work combined, how they better work combined. And then we have the TDI indicator settings. The TDI indicator itself, by the way, it doesn't need to be attached on the chart. Just attach it on the chart to make it clear how the expert advisor works and to make sure that it works properly. But now I'm sure it works properly. I don't really need it. It's just nice to see it there for some reason. I like it. It doesn't consume much resources. Mind that it must be the TDI expert indicator. Sorry, the expert advisor, the TDI expert advisor uses the TDI indicator from RobotFX. So when you decide to buy this expert advisor, or maybe just download a free version, you will download an archive file that will contain the expert advisor and the indicator, both of them. Right, so this is the indicator's name. You don't need to change this. If, however, you do change it for some reason, make sure that you enter here the indicator's name without the termination XEX4. Without the file extension, which is only its name. Now, and finally, after I've done with these settings, let's explain them a little. The expert advisor, first of all, can determine the trend, and that's a good thing because depending on the trend, if it's an uptrend, you normally want the expert advisor only to buy or open only long trades, and if it's a downtrend, you should only sell in a downtrend. Trade with the trend, it's still the safest way of trading and also profitable. So the expert advisor can determine by trends by using, first of all, a moving average trend indicator, and these are the settings of the moving average indicator trend indicator right here that I'm using on this chart as 300 smoothly that I showed you already. That's the moving average I'm using. This also doesn't need to be attached on the chart. I attached it just for visual confirmation, let's say, and to better explain to you what it does. So that's one option for the expert advisor to determine the trend. Or the expert advisor can determine the trend using the TDI green-yellow position. That would be the one of the main usage of the TDI indicator itself. So when the TDI is green, green moving average is above the TDI's yellow trend line, then the expert advisor will be allowed to buy. If the green moving average is below the yellow line, then the expert advisor will only be allowed to sell. Of course, you can change these settings to better reflect the price and your trading style. So the TDI expert advisor will not look so, I don't know, zigzagged. I prefer to leave it alone and just use a moving average because I'm used trading with moving averages. But if you are a TDI trader, exclusive TDI trader, maybe you want to determine the trend using the TDI indicator, the TDI settings. So if the green moving average of the TDI is above the yellow one, that means the expert advisor will only buy. If it's under it, the expert advisor will only sell. TDI settings available in the expert advisor settings somewhere, and there they are. Then there is a third option to determine the trend by this TDI expert advisor, using again one of the TDI moving averages, which is the yellow one, and using the yellow slope. Basically, it means that if the yellow moving average is rising, then the expert advisor will only buy. That will be determined as an uptrend. If the yellow moving average will fall, then the expert advisor will consider the trend as a downtrend, and the expert advisor will only be allowed to sell. So downtrend, sell, don't know what's happening here, uptrend, buy, and looks like a downtrend. It wouldn't have been allowed to open these buys if I'd used this trend detector. However, as I've told you a few times before, I'm using the moving average trend detector on this chart. So this is the third option to determine the trend. So basically, it's a trend trader. The TDI expert advisor, it's a trend trader. Can be used successfully to trade with the trend. The fourth option, there is no trend. Determine the trend by no trend. That means that the expert advisor will not use the trend detector. It will open trades well, regardless of the trend. If you don't want to use a trend detector, maybe you are sure that in the next few hours the price will move, I don't know, in either direction, and you don't need a trend detector, then set the other settings properly and just let it be, wait for that move. Now, besides the trend confirmation, besides the trend detector, the expert advisor uses a confirmation, and this is not the trade signal, the trade entry. This is not the signal, it's just a confirmation. And the first one, as I've tried to explain before, is the stochastic overbought oversold levels. So the first option to confirm an entry is by the stochastic overbought oversold. That means that if the expert advisor in this situation, when the expert advisor opened two trades, one here, if I would have used the stochastic excuse me, as a trend confirmation with the same settings as the expert advisor, the expert advisor will have probably ignored this trade right here because the stochastic was not in oversold area. I'm also confused about this one. It might have ignored this one too, but basically it means that regardless of the signal, regardless of the trend, if we are using the stochastic confirmation to enter a trade, the expert advisor will open trades only when the stochastic will open a buy trade only when the stochastic will be in the oversold area, and it will open a sell trade only when the stochastic will be in a overbought area. That's the stochastic confirmation, and it will ignore all the other trading signals that might occur and might happen. So that is the confirmation by stochastic indicator. There's another confirmation. This is the swing zone price position that I've tried to explain earlier. This is the distance, basically the distance of the price regarding the latest, regarding the highest highs and the lowest lows of a certain area, which is, again, this is highly annoying, the settings not remaining the full size, I mean, and this is again given by the swing zone bars and pips away from last swing. So this is the swing confirmation, swing zone price position confirmation. That means that for this area, the expert advisor was allowed to open this trade and this trade because the price at the moment of the trade signal, at the moment of the signal, when the signal occurred, was at least 30 pips, which is for these settings pips away from last swing, was at least 30 pips away from the last higher high, lower low, and so on, which was here somewhere. It was even higher than what it is now, because this looks this was the highest high at that point. Okay, this is a little messy. I don't have any other tool to draw on the chart except for the mouse. Alright, I hope that this is understood. If not, feel free to send an email. I'll try to explain it better. Now, or you can also not use a confirmation entry. That means that if you are not using a confirmation entry, the expert advisor only consider the trend with these settings. Only consider the trend, buy above the moving average, sell below the moving average, no confirmation, and we go straight to the entry. When does the expert advisor enter a trade? When does it exit a trade? Alright, but for the sake of my trading going well, let's leave this open, remove the stochastic from the chart because it's taking space and I'm not using it on this chart with this trading strategy. Let's go further to the entry. Now we have determined that the price is above the moving average, then there is an uptrend, then the expert advisor is only allowed to buy. So when will it buy? We have many options to determine an entry. So one of them is the TDI red-green cross. That means that in uptrend, the expert advisor will be allowed to buy only when the TDI's green moving average rises above the red moving average. Like for example, here the expert advisor will buy, here, I'm not sure, here. Again, it depends also on the number of the just showing you very fast in case you forgot, it depends on this number to open next trade bars. After how many bars it might or might not open this trade here, it might be closer than this trade right here. Okay, must be at least 10 bars or any number that you choose. So we have an uptrend. Expert advisor, we have opened a buy trend trade here, 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 and here, and so on. And so far we will have 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 successful trades that will be in profit at this level with this scenario. Now another option to confirm a trade another trade signal, trade entry, is the TDI green yellow cross. That means and of course I forgot to say it is opposite with the sell. If the there is a downtrend and the green moving average falls under the red moving average, and the expert advisor will open a sell, right? Sell, sell, sell right here, sell, and so on. Now the next option is the TDI green yellow cross, and this is the same criteria, only the red moving average is replaced by the yellow moving average, sorry. So that means that in uptrend, when the price, the green moving average, when the green will rise above the yellow, the expert advisor will open a buy and another buy, not sure, another buy and another buy. And it's opposite for the sell. When the green will fall under the yellow, then the expert advisor will open a sell. Almost the same. Sell, sell, sell. I'm waiting for the sell. All right. Another criteria is for the TDI green blue position. Now here we have two blue lines. These are the volatility bands of the TDI Expert Advisor. You can see them, the upper and the lower blue lines, and the price usually bounces between them. Now with the settings that we just reached, the TDI green blue intersection cross, that means that the Expert Advisor will open a buy, as we're in buy trend, in uptrend now. We'll open a buy when the green moving average will rise from under the lower volatility band, as it happened right here somewhere. It would have been another signal here, but it's not 10 bars away from the previous 10 candles away from the previous open trade, so that was ignored on the criteria, and the expert advisor opened another trade right here. All right, so it is opposite for sell. If the green will fall under the upper, this time the upper volatility band, then the expert advisor will open a sell. Combine this with the trend detector, it will give quite good signals, quite good trading signals, as it happened in this example. And these are the settings that I'm using right now on this chart. Then there is an option to open trades using the TDI green slope. That means that if the TDI green, the green moving average is rising and then it suddenly falls, it drops, the expert advisor will open a sell, and it is opposite for buy. If the green moving average falls and then it starts rising, then the expert advisor will open a buy here. And finally, you can trade by the moving average signal price card. The moving average signal is this one. Of course, you can change the settings to any you want. That means that the expert advisor will open up. This is not related to the TDI expert advisor itself. It's just an extra option that you can or cannot use. The expert advisor can be allowed to open a trade if the price rises above the moving average signal, or a sell if it falls under the moving average signal. And then we have the exit conditions. So once these trades are open, one of the exit conditions is obviously the break even or the trailing stop, which is the same, 30 pips in this case. If the price will fall back now, that both trades will close because the price will hit the stop loss, the trailing stop. Well, the stop loss is trailed, so you know the meaning. The trailing step is 1 pip. That means that with every 1 pip the price moves in our favor. The expert advisor will also drag the stop loss, so it will be 30 pips distance from the current price. And there's also a trailing buffer that you probably not use, and the signal exits. we have the options, and some of these are relative to the entry options, the exits. Close the trade when the price and the moving average signal cross. I showed you in, where was that? In this example, here the trade was open at the blue volatility bands, green blue cross, if I remember well, and it closed when the price rises above the moving average signal, which is this white line. So that's one option. Close a trade when the price crosses the moving average signal, or close a trade when the stochastic enters one of its over positions. So now we are buying. Obviously, we will close the trade when the stochastic will be in overbought position. Not when it will be in overbought, when it will be in overbought and fall back. That's the criteria. Then we have the option to close the trade when the red-green cross. So if we are trading with the trend and the green rises above the red, then we have an entry here, a buy, and we will wait for the green to fall behind the red for the expert advisor to close this trade if we would use this this option. All right, no more drawing, it's too annoying and too hard. Next, there's the option to close the TDI, to close the trade depending on the TDI green slope. So if we have a buy trade open and the TDI green is rising, the expert advisor will close the trade or the trades as soon as the green will start falling. Close the trade when the green crosses the yellow line. That's exactly the opposite of this one. The opening of the trade, so if this trade opened right here, for example, when the green rose above the yellow moving average, then the expert advisor will consider closing that trade when the green will fall under the yellow. We don't know when this will happen. And also the option to close based on the green-blue cross, which is the opposite of this option to open the trade, and what I'm using on this chart right here. Okay, I'm sorry, and it applies to the opposite volatility band. So if the expert advisor open this trade when the green rose above the lower volatility band, the lower blue line, the expert advisor with this setting will close these trades when the green will fall under the upper blue volatility band. That's a slight difference, right? There's also the option to close the trade at the opposite signal, and that means at the opposite signal, including the trend. So it is a good, if the trend would change and you are trading with the trend, it is good to leave this set to true. Well, if you want to accept the losses of the trade that might be open, so the expert advisor will close the losing trade, because as soon as it will close this losing trade, it will open the next one, because an opposite signal would have occurred, right? So it will, excuse me, it might be useful in a situation when the trend changes. Also, the option to close at the same signal, that basically means that you will have only one trade on the chart at all times, and that the maximum number of trades will not apply, maximum number of orders will not apply anymore, because if a same signal happens on the chart, the expert advisor will close the previous trade and it will open the next one. However, I'm going back to the minimum profit. Remember the minimum profit that was 0.01 cents somewhere at the beginning right here? Well, the minimum profit it's used by this option right here that says close at obeys the minimum profit. That means that all these options above, close at price, moving every signal cross, close at stochastic, close at TDI, close at opposite signal, close at same signal, all of them obey the minimum profit. What that means is if one trade or multiple trades, in this case two, their profit is not at least 0.01 10 cents as said in this example, the expert advisor will not close the trades if this option is set to true. So the expert advisor will wait until the next signal, until the next exit criteria, until the profit of this trade or this trade will be equal or more than the minimum profit. You can safely disable this if you don't want to use it. You can also set the minimum profit to a negative value, losses that you are able to accept, for example. This is when the minimum profit is used. You can also close baskets of opposite trades at minimum profit. That's another setting. Sometimes, depending on this combination of settings, you will have on the same chart opposite trades, buys and sells, longs and short. This option will close all of them when their real profit will reach minimum profit. So this can be used as a break even. For example, if it's set to 0.1, this is how I use it at least. If it's set to 0.1, I want the opposite trades on the chart. I want all the trades on the chart, if they are opposite trades, buys and sells, because it's kind of chaotic, to close as soon as they are all at break even. In this case, I didn't lose any money, and I can focus on following the trend, the next trend that happened. And you might have opposite trades, buy, sells on the same chart at the same moment. Again, when the trend changes, if, for example, you are not using this option, if you don't want to close trades at opposite signal, then you might end up with a buy and a sell. And that's the thing. That's how it works. But I want to close them, so that means that I will never use this option. Will not come to this. Next options are the loss management. You have the option to enable Martingale. What that means, it means that if a trade opens in a loss, then the expert advisor can be instructed to, by using the Martingale multiplier of 2 in this case, to double, triple, and so on. Use this multiplier to increase the lot size of the next open trade. And if the next open trade will also end in a loss, then the expert advisor can retry it again 2 times. That means, or 3 times, or 4 times. Okay, that's a little too much. Depending on how many times you want to bet on the same coin. That basically means Martingale. I don't use it in these settings. If you can use it, you know how to use it profitably, you use it. If not, many traders are afraid of the Martingale, and many new traders, I would say. But in the end, it's trading skills. Anyway, the purpose of this video is explaining the settings and not giving trading advice. So let's go to the next setting. These are the trades, comments, which is by default our website, www.robotfx.ro. This is our main website, and this might be useful because it appears in the terminal right here. It's easier to monitor to monitor trades opened by on a certain chart, for example, because you can change the comments to whatever you want. So let's say I want to monitor trades on this Euro USD. Well, I can already see that, but anyway, I won't go into details. If you don't use it, just leave it as it is. The magic number is used to for the expert advisor to monitor trades on the same chart. Then we have the chart info. It's set to false. The chart info is used to, if you enable it, set it to true, it will show information about your account, your broker, your minimum lot size, maximum lot size, and so on the chart as a text. It shouldn't bother you too much. Sometimes it bothers me, so I set it to false. Then there's the full logs that will create a log file that can be quite big in size. If you think something doesn't work very well, you can use the full log, set it to true, and try to reproduce the what you think, reproduce the same scenario, what you think when you think something went wrong, like same chart, same time, same time frame, same lot size. Enable it, set it to true, and let it do its job. And we will need these logs in case of troubleshooting. No one used it so far. If you don't use it, set it to false, and it will save it will save space on your hard drive. As you can see, our trades already closed, and we had one here and another one here. How old is this one? I don't know. All right, never mind that one. Focus on the last two. I'm trying to use an indicator to show me the number of pips this trade made. Not this. So we have 11 pips somewhere. 11 pips must be this one. Ignore that. 29 and 32. This should be 29 pips. This should be 32 pips. And this will go on our blog. And again, with these settings, the expert advisor open trades when the green TDI green moving average rose above the lower volatility band. Somewhere in here, 1, 2 trades, and it closed them, both of them, when the green falls under the upper volatility band right here. So this is one scenario of how this expert advisor works. Now, I hope I've explained all settings. There will be a third video explaining different various scenarios that I'm having attached on the chart right now. If it's not published yet, come back again tomorrow, and it's possible you will find it. You'll find it on our website or YouTube channel. Anyhow, all the information about this TDI Expert Advisor will be updated in time on the Expert Advisor page, which is on the RobotFX.ro website. You can find it right here, and the videos will be at the bottom of the article. Thank you for watching. Good luck trading, and make sure you watch the next video. Bye bye.